Now at 11, a tragic end to the school day. A principal killed while saving the lives of her students. Our live team coverage continues at the school right now.
Now, the news at 11 on RTV 6.
Jordan helped you. One time I couldn't find my bus and she helped me find my bus.
We love you, Susan. Oh, yes, we do. When you're not with us, we're blue.
Tonight, a principal loved by students for more than 22 years now is being remembered for spending her final moments protecting the kids. We now know Susan Jordan died while pushing two young students out of the way of a speeding bus, putting her own life on the line to save theirs. We were the first to break this story, and tonight our live team coverage continues at the school where this tragic crash happened. We have new reaction from those students and parents who knew Jordan so well, including that video showing just how much everyone loved her. Our Call 6 team is also asking what comes next in this investigation. Let's get back out to that school now, where my co-anchor Todd Connor is live tonight. Todd?
Erica, we first brought our viewers this story just over 8 hours ago. A terrifying bus crash at the Amy Beverland Elementary School behind me. Now tonight, the bus, the crime scene tape are gone, and so is someone very well loved by the hundreds of people in this school community. Here's what we know so far about the crash tonight. It was just after school had wrapped up. It was around 2:45 or so when that school bus jumped the curb, hitting two 10-year-old students and running over Principal Susan Jordan. The bus driver claims she had no idea what caused the bus to go forward, but she watched as Jordan pushed kids out of the way before she herself was run over. Tonight, we learned classes are canceled tomorrow at Amy Beverland and at all Lawrence Township schools. Counselors will be brought in for anyone needing support, and the Benjamin Harrison YMCA is offering to take care of any kids left without anyone to watch them. We've had several crews out here all day long since this first happened at about 2:45 this afternoon, including our Chance Walser, who's been here, and you talked to a lot of parents, a lot of anxious parents who all they wanted to do was get their kids and go home.
Yeah, Todd, and many of them just showing up here only after their students' buses didn't arrive at home as scheduled. They arrived, as you know, at the Marsh parking lot just across the street from the school, frantic, wondering, worried about their child's safety. Sirens greeted parents who pulled up scared. Many didn't know what happened or if their child was hurt.
So then I drive down here and I see all of this going on, and I don't know whose kid it is. I don't know, if there's a Unabomber. I don't know.
Worry and confusion steered many to their phones and social media, where information swirled about who was safe and who the bus hit.
They're in the hallway. My daughter, just sixth grader. She said, "We're in the hallway, Dad."
On the bus
okay.
Yet.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. They were waiting here. Right. Yeah.
That's what they just said. They just said it was Miss Jordan was hit.
Oh, really?
Minutes later, police escorted parents onto school property. Families were reunited, grateful to be going home together.
And they said, "Hey, your kid's fine, but there was an incident, and I'm glad he's here and he's fine, but it's a little hard."
It's just a relief. I'm still a little bit, in shock. When I got the call from my neighbor, the way she put it, it sounded like he got run over. So I'm just real happy. It's okay.
Not letting go.
No, no, I'm not.
Emotion, the grip that father had on his son's backpack really tells the emotion that was going on here. We spoke with a lot of parents who had high praise for the district and police. We spoke with parents on the other side of that coin who were pretty critical. So that'll be a conversation we keep an eye on in the coming days. But obviously for right now, members of this community really just trying to wrap their heads around the tragedy that exists here now, Todd.
A lot of parents probably having conversations with their children tonight that they had no plans to have today when they went to school.
Conversations for
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Chance, thank you very much. We turn our attention now to the accident itself and the question out there: why did that bus jump the curb? Call 6 Investigates Paris Lubell has been making phone calls all day long on this, and he has more on that angle.
Todd, right now police are investigating to see exactly why this crash happened in the first place. Now, this is the end position of where that bus ended up, and police already during the day taking pictures and measurements to see exactly where it ended up, and then they'll back it up and actually recreate the crash. They won't move the bus exactly, but they'll see where the starting position was and then the ending position. Now, the fire truck here and the bus, the other bus, weren't involved. Those were just blocking the scene from people out on Fox Road. But police out here looking at all the different angles, looking to see what led to this accident, if it was possibly mechanical or human error. It may take weeks before we actually know the answer to that. Now, we did also pull the inspection reports for this bus. Annually, every school bus here in the state gets inspected by state police. It was recently most inspected back 4 days ago, and it passed all the inspection points. Now, it'll be back in the bus shop to see exactly if there was a mechanical part to this. Again, we may not know the answers for that for coming days or weeks. Todd, we'll send it back out to you at the scene.
Paris, thank you. Principal Susan Jordan has been the head of the Amy Beverland School now for the last 2 decades. 22 years she served as principal. She's seen students grow up and even have their own kids. And now tonight, an incredibly touching tribute to Jordan is making its way through social media, with many seeing the extra special meaning that now that she's gone. We want to show you part of that tribute.
The reason Mrs. Jordan is so successful is because
Friendly.
Focus!
Smart.
Thank you, Mrs. Jordan. She always trusts in her teachers, and she is always positively supporting us.
She's nice to all of us in the school, and she's checking us to see if we can move to 2nd grade.
Mrs. Jordan is the best principal ever because she makes parents, students, and staff feel valued.
Because she is nice, and she is a hard worker, and she helps all the students in school.
We love you, Mrs. J. Mwah.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
I can tell you it's a very touching video, all 11 minutes of it, and you can watch the entire version on RTV6 app. The video, of course, made last year when they were paying tribute to Susan Jordan's leadership at the school. Well, that video is being shared hundreds of times. Here are some tweets just coming in from some former students of Susan Jordan tonight. One woman just posted this on Twitter saying, "Mrs. Jordan was the nicest principal I've ever had. Prayers for her family and all of Amy Beverland." Another person writes, "Prayers out to Amy B. Mrs. Jordan was such an amazing principal and even better person. Can't believe this happened." And a final tweet here. This person writes, "Thank you to the principal we all loved and were loved by, knowing we were in a safe place, all because of you. Much love, Mrs. Jordan." Now, even those who did not work at the school directly with Principal Susan Jordan are emotional tonight. Take a listen to the reaction from Lawrence Mayor Steve Collier a little bit earlier today.
I'm very close to the situation. It's very hard to talk right now. So we mourn Lawrence Township, and certainly tomorrow is what will come. So, thank you.
Steve Collier, also a retired teacher, spent a long time here in the Lawrence Township School District. Now, Indianapolis police are also showing support tonight with this tweet, and Governor Pence is also sending prayers to the Jordan family and the entire school community. We've made it easy for anyone with special memories of Susan Jordan, to share them or send thoughts and prayers to her family. All you have to do is just visit the online memorial set up on the RTV6 Facebook page. Of course, this story very sad for everyone involved, but it will also have a lasting effect on all of those kids. As you heard just a few minutes ago, we now know Principal Jordan pushed some of her students out of the way of that bus, not to mention all of the kids that were watching what happened or found out later this evening. We've received a lot of questions from parents tonight as well, asking, how do I explain something like this to my child? Well, tonight we went to the experts at Riley Hospital for some answers.
Obviously, in these situations, it's stressful for all members of the families, especially the kids. We always encourage families to be open with their children, to answer their questions. Honestly, we don't necessarily need to give children all the details, but to be upfront and give them information that's developmentally appropriate for their age. It encourages children to be able to talk about the experience if it's a normal thing to talk about it, and it's not something we hide away from. When the parents encourage that, it encourages them to go through the healing process.
And once again, classes are canceled tomorrow in Lawrence Township, but here's a list of places you can go or take your kids to for some counseling. We're told additional support will also be brought in on Thursday for anyone who needs to talk. And Erica, you can just imagine how many of these kids and even staff members will need someone to talk to when they return to school and try to resume the school year as normal. Erica?
Yeah, not only tomorrow, but for many days to come. Such a tragic and sad situation. Todd, what else do we know about the driver?
Well, there are some things we don't know, including her identity, but we do know, at least according to one parent I spoke to who saw the driver still sitting in the seat of her school bus, that she is a woman, of course. She guessed to be around 40 years old. Police aren't releasing any information on her ID at this time, nor is the school. But this parent I spoke to earlier today, who helped us process some of this and give us some of the early information on this, said she saw her sitting in this seat, and she said she looked pretty shaken up, pretty distraught about just what happened, as you can imagine the horror of what she must have seen today as she was picking up the kids after school. Erica, back to you.
All right, Todd Connor reporting live from the scene. Thank you, Todd. And of course, we will continue to follow the story very closely in the coming days, bringing you any new details on the investigation into the crash, plus information on funeral services for Susan Jordan. Once again, we have an online memorial set up for her on our Facebook page. You can also find our full coverage from tonight on our new RTV6 app, plus tune in for more live reports starting at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana.